Hi, my name is Noel Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to do an update on our hemp bedding system. So we've had this going for about 21 days now. I think we started on the 9th. Today's the 30th. So 21 days. We've never added food to it, but we are today. It's been 5 days since our last update. The worms were starting to work into the hemp bedding a little bit, but they were still primarily centered around the material that was already there from our pine shaving system, which is really, rich material with a good microbial activity. Now I'm hoping that we can add some food here and get them sort of start shifting over in this system and have them start to really consume this hemp bedding. And I'm hoping the hemp bedding does break down. So with that, let's go to the system, let's take a look at how it's doing, and let's start adding food to this system. And just as a reminder, if you're looking to purchase the hemp bedding or these totes or any of the things that I show, I do have Amazon links down below, or links that I should say, a link that will take you to an Amazon page or a web page that has most of these items listed. So please, if you are looking to purchase them, use those links and help me out a little bit and support this channel. So with that, let's take a look at our tote. All right, here is our bin right here. As you can see, we've got the 6/25 date. I've got another label for the 6/30 date. We're just going to take a quick glance through this material here and see if they've spread out a little bit. First off, we're going to look on this top here, see if we find any worms on the top. Not seeing any, no cocoons either that I can find. As you can see, we've got the darker material on this side. It kind of goes to that lighter material on the other side. We're going to put this off to the side now, and let's dig into this system and take a look and see what's going on and if we need anything else other than food in this system. So let's go ahead and start off over here on the opposite side. A little bit dry. Let me push this down just a little bit there. There we go. A little dry over here on this side and this side as usual. Let's just see how, yeah, it goes down about an inch and then it starts to moisten up a little bit here, it looks like. And actually there's a little baby worm. Let's see if I can grab him. Right there. A little baby worm right there. It's a great sign. We're getting worms already in this stuff, as I've said in the past. Now let's dig over here. Let's just see. Oh, we got some worms over here. Got one right there. Let's just move that up a little bit. And then one right here as well. And another one over here. This material does feel a little bit coarse, but the worms do seem to be going into it. So another one right there. No odor or anything in the system. I was also worried that it might smell bad. There was one worm that fell off over there. But there's no odor or anything. This material seems to be pretty good at absorbing moisture as well. It seems like there's nothing sitting on the bottom. Another worm right there. So these, so far they're spreading out in here, and they're starting to. That means they've got to be consuming this bedding material, because there's nothing else in here really for them to consume. And here's another little baby right there. Look at that. Got lots of immature worms in here. It's not a bad thing. Go ahead and push that back over to that side. Let's take a look in this center section here. And we got some worms over here that have come over from the other bedding material. As you can see right here, they're bumped up against it, starting to spread out a little bit as this stuff is getting that microbial activity going. But look at that. You can see right in there, just a lot of worms. They're really starting to maneuver into this material as they go through this other bedding material from the old system. I shouldn't say bedding material anymore. I mean, this was shavings, but look at that. You can see them in here. And they're starting to really kind of, as we mix this together, it's just going to go faster and faster as it gets to this microbial activity, but they're looking really, really good in here. Let me just see here if I can turn this up a little bit brighter in here. It looks like it's not quite up all the way. Oh, it's not. These lights aren't up all the way. There we go. That's better. I was going to say it looked a little dim. But yeah, there's a lot of worms in this material, and they are starting to mix in with this other material here, and this is great. So they're hopefully going to start working on this hemp bedding. And you can see over here, this one especially, we've got all the material on the bottom, the hemp bedding on the top, but they're starting to move up into that section. So it looks like they're doing a great job there. We're going to continue to mix this stuff together and get this microbial activity going. As I know now that the hemp bedding is not going to hurt them in some way or is off. It seems like they're able to survive in it, as we could tell from them being in this side over here as we've checked the last few times. So the key is now is to just start mixing this all together so we can get this hemp bedding working. And any system that you have, you really should bring in some of your old bedding material and get it in there, so that way you can get the worms acclimated a little quicker. And look at this. This one here is there's a ton of bedding material or old composted material along with the hemp bedding. And you can see right here, we're just going to continue to mix this in. We're just going to do this on one side for now. We're going to leave this side to its own devices for now, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some food to that side. And the idea being that I really want the worms to acclimate to this system, but then I want to see if they're going to move over and really try to attack this food that we're going to add. So we're going to go ahead and flip this around a little bit. I know this is kind of fluff this up, smooth it back out. So this side right here is all mixed together now. I'm just trying to get all the worms off my gloves here. All right. Oop, there's a little baby right there. Look at that. Right on the tip of my glove. Scrape them off nice and gently. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back to this side. We're going to go ahead and dig down just like that. Clean off the gloves a little bit. And what we're going to do in here, we are going to add some more moisture in a minute, but the first thing we're going to do here is I'm going to add some food to this side. And I'm going to add one of the favorites that my worms really like is these coffee grounds. There's a little piece of pepper on there as well. This is 2 things of frozen coffee grounds. They're starting to thaw out. I did leave them out a little bit for about an hour. Not thawed out quite as much as I thought, but that's okay. We're going to add, I think this is lettuce in here as well, along with a little bit more pepper. So I don't want to add, there's quite a few worms in here, so I'm not too worried about overfeeding them this time. So we're going to add in there's a lot of lettuce in here, which I think is good. With those coffee grounds, it should heat up a little bit. And then we're going to add some more lettuce and a little bit of tea grounds. And then we'll throw in a couple pieces of cucumber too, just to give them a good varied diet there. I like to always kind of feed a variety of things to my worms. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add in a little bit of crushed crab and eggshell. Just a little bit over here. Kind of coat this a little bit. There we go. And then what we want to do is we're just going to go ahead and cover this again. Just as it was. Nice and thick over there. Make sure that it's covered. Now those things are frozen, although they were starting to thaw out except for the coffee grounds. Now, the last part of this, I think I am going to add just a little bit more moisture. There's moisture in here, but not quite as much as I was hoping. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some moisture here from my bucket that has the BTI mix in it. I'm just going to pour that right over the food area and a little bit over here as well. Kind of keeping it in the bedding area that has the fresh bedding. Whoops. Got a whole bunch of that on the bottom there when I went by. Kind of keep it in the area that the hemp bedding is instead of the area where we have the old pine shaving bedding. So, that's been composted really well. So with that, there's one more thing we need to do. I'm going to take off my glove here. And I need to pull this system up a little bit, and I need to mark where we fed and today's date. So we're going to go ahead and put that label right here. Oops. And I knew I was going to feed today because there was no food in here, so I already added my little dash. And we need to cover this back up. And that's going to be our update. We're going to let this sit for a while, though, now. I'm not going to be checking on it, maybe a little bit over a week. We'll come back to it and see how it's doing, but I think this is a good update. And that's it for this. Thank you for watching.